Hey, hey, welcome back to another episode of Flavor and Fiction. Long time no see. Happy New Year. I know it's the end of January. I meant to post the first week of January, but you know what? Life comes at you fast. So, anyway, if you haven't been here before, Flavor and Fiction is a segment where I read a book from my now 2025 reading challenge, and then I make a recipe related to the book. So, you get your flavor and your fiction. So, this time the category was a book that was left over from last year's category. This was meant to be my last December read. And I read it in December, but I haven't been able to cover it until now. So the book I chose was Delectable, A Sweet Romance by Phoenix Ash. And this is by an independent author that I kind of know through TikTok. And so I've always been curious about her books. So I decided, hey, this would be the perfect time to read it. And there were a lot of sweet treats mentioned in the book. But once I saw brownies, I knew that was my choice. But I didn't want to make the same old, just regular brownies. So I decided to try something new for me and make fudgy brownie cookies. Now, this is what they're supposed to look like. And if you stay tuned for the end of the video, you get to see me making them and you'll get to see what they actually look like. And then you'll get to see a taste test from my coworker, Kevin. So stay tuned. But first, let's talk about the book. This is a story of Joy and Niall. Joy thought she was in a committed relationship until she caught the love of her life in bed with someone else, someone she despised. And Niall was also in a relationship with someone, but that person didn't appreciate his vision for the future and didn't really appreciate his role as a police officer. So they both made the calls to go their separate ways. And it turns out that Joy and Niall both frequent the same bake shop. And it sounds like a Hallmark movie, doesn't it? Like it's a great setup for a Hallmark movie. And so once they finally run into each other with a little help from the employees there, they kind of bond over some delicious chocolate cake and they immediately hit it off and become a couple. And they start healing some relationship wounds in each other. And Joy learns to trust again, and Niall finds someone who finally appreciates his career and life goals. And everything seems to be perfect between them. But of course, some outside influences and situations threaten to tear them apart. So, we don't do spoilers over here. So I can't really tell you too much about what they go through. But I can say that this book is perfect for cozy season. It's lighthearted, it's cute, and it has medium spice. So, it's not too much for you out there, but it gives you just enough. And so Phoenix Ash is an independent author who's written at least 10 books. I'm going to put a link to a website. Maybe she has an author site or something. I'm going to find it and put a link below so you can purchase one of her books and try it out. This is the perfect season. So if you're going to do it now. So now that I've given you a little taste of the fiction, how about a little taste of these brownie cookies? So here's the video of me making them. Here we go. You're going to start with melting your butter with the semi-sweet chocolate chips. And then you're going to mix your egg with your sugar and vanilla and give that a good mix until it looks a little airy like that. Then once you have your chocolate and butter combo, throw that in and give that a good mix again. It should look like that before you add in your flour. And what is that? The salt? And your baking cocoa. Give that a good stir. It should be a brownie consistency, and then you put it on your parchment paper lined cookie sheet, and that's what mine looked like. It would have looked nicer with the scooper, but it came out looking like this. Yes, it came out looking like little poop emojis. But let's see what Kevin had to say.
Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Kevin coming live from New York, and I'm doing the flavor and fiction taste testing for the chocolate chip cookie that Rhonda's making. I don't know if it's just chocolate, but I guess she'll pretty much give you the script. But this is what the cookie looks like. And even before I give you my critique and my grade, It was plenty of cookies inside this bag. I ate them all day. It was maybe about 10, and I'm down to 1. So I might have a lot of nerve giving it the grade that I'm gonna give it, because it's, to me, a 7.1. That said, I've given it that because I feel like the outside is very crispy, and so the cookie is a little bit hard, but it's a little bit like chewy on the inside. Not the best consistency on the inside, but even though it's that small mishap, overall it's still pretty edible, still pretty tasty in a way. So like my grade is a 7. Like, not so great, but not necessarily bad at all. So I'm down the middle with this one, 7.1. Over to you, Rhonda.
So, as you were able to see, my Fudgy Brownie cookies that were supposed to look like this came out looking like little balls of poop. And I don't know why. I followed the recipe exactly. I don't know what happened, but surprisingly, as you saw with Kevin, they didn't taste terrible. They tasted like brownies. It's just my brain could not compute what I was seeing versus what I was tasting. So, I didn't want too many of those, but but I would try it again just because I'm curious as to where I went wrong. So maybe I didn't like beat the eggs enough. I thought, I don't know. But if you want to try your hand at this recipe, I will also put a link to that down below, along with the link of where you can find the book. So give them both a try. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Flavor and Fiction. I'm considering to start filming these for TikTok and then just kind of reposting on YouTube, because the YouTube engagement seems to have gone down a little and TikTok seems to be rising a little. So I'm going to play around with it and see how it goes. But either way, you can still find me here at YouTube. The format just may look a little different, so don't worry. Until next time, happy reading and happy eating.